Hi guys, this is a wee video to explain how you can extend the range of your e-bike by simply adding an extra battery. And what I'm going to show you here is, this is my Bafang 500 watt 36 volt e-bike. It's a kit that I bought direct from China. It was pretty cheap, can't remember, £400, something like that, and that included the battery. Now, the problem I've noticed with this battery pack is that after, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 miles max, the battery just dies really quickly. It goes from sort of a half charge down to no charge in almost no time at all. Seems to be the first half of the battery range is pretty good, and then the second half it just dies. I don't know if that's common with all electric bikes, but I suspect what's going on here is that this battery pack, which came with the Bafang kit, I suspect is made with the cheapest, nastiest batteries that the Chinese makers could find. So what I decided to do was to see if I could figure out a way to give it a better range. So what I did was I got the battery pack, which I had already built for another project, this one here, which is, if I remember right, 10S6P, something like that, made with batteries which are copies of Samsung. Can't remember the model of them now, but they're around about 3100 milliamp per hour. I did test them with a battery charger that can discharge batteries. So each of the batteries, each of the cells in this battery pack are 3100 milliamp per hour, and like I said, there's 6 in parallel, 10 in series. So what I did with this was, this battery pack has a BMS in it, which has only 2 wires coming out of it, 2 power wires, which means that the same 2 wires that are used for driving the bike are the same 2 wires used for charging the batteries. I don't know how important that is, but it works really well in my setup. What I did was I just extended the power wires through these switches. One is for my lights, which, as you can see, one is for lights and one is for just power down to the motor. So what I did was extend the batteries, the cables down to here, to a little Y cable, where this is the battery power from the original battery. This is the connector for the Bafang, and this is the connector coming down from the battery pack. So this basically just makes the 2 battery pack outputs are wired in parallel. And like I say, that it works brilliantly. I've been riding this bike now, just back from a 10 or 12 mile ride, and I zeroed the trip when it was last charged, and as you can see, the battery pack is sitting at 35.7 volts, and it's done 62 miles since it was last charged, and I could easily get another 10, 15, maybe even 20 miles out of this pack before it would be really needing charged. I would tend to charge I would tend to say a battery is completely flat when it's down to, say, 30 volts, which in this case would be 3 volts per cell. Some people like to charge them before they get as low as 30. Some people would take them even below 30. But I would say there's at least another 10 to 15 miles range in this pack. And as you can see, I've already done 62.7 miles since it was last charged. So that's it. If you want to extend the range of your e-bike, get yourself a wee bag like this to hook onto your crossbar. Put a battery pack into it, which has the BMS with just a 2-wire BMS and hook it in parallel. The other nice thing about this particular setup is that I can actually charge both batteries, both packs from the one charger. All I do is make sure this pack is turned on here. As you can see, that light is on. So make sure that is turned on and make sure this switch is in the on position. So the two outputs, the two battery packs are in parallel and are connected. And then just put the charger into this, the original pack, and it just charges both packs at the same time. Takes a fair bit longer, right enough, but you know, 6-7 hours or something like that is more than enough to charge both packs and get me, like I say, 70-80 miles range. And it didn't cost very much. These were cheap cells I bought from China, and welded them all together myself. So very cheap, very simple way to extend the range of your e-bike and give you a 70 or 80 mile range. And that range, or that 62 miles that I've done already, a lot of that was done using the throttle. So it's not even like as if I've been trying to be economical with it. There's been a fair amount of throttle use on that without pedaling, but mostly it's been pedaling, mostly with the Bafang sitting in number 4 and doing sort of about 13-14 miles per hour, that sort of speed. But yeah, like I say, a fair amount of throttle only use as well. So it works really, really well, and it just takes away any range anxiety and gives you a really fun bike. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye for now. Sorry guys, I forgot to say, if you are thinking of doing something like this, add an extra battery to your e-bike, you have to make sure the two batteries are more or less the same voltage before you connect them. Otherwise you're going to get a massive surge of current going from one battery through to the other. So you want to make sure they're within half a volt or so of each other. And if they are any more than that apart, you could probably get away with it if you immediately plugged in a charger, so that the battery that was lower would be getting some power coming in from the charger as well as from the other battery, or the two batteries would both be getting power from the charger at the same time. One would be getting more than the other, whatever. But so long as they're not more than half a volt apart, you'll not have a problem. Any more than that, you might get a problem. I don't know for sure, but I tried to make sure my two batteries were more or less within half a volt of each other before I plugged the two together, and I didn't have any problems. So just that wee note of caution: make sure you don't plug a flat battery and a fully charged battery together, and if you do, don't be surprised if there's a big flash, or if you blow a fuse, or if you blow a BMS or something like that. The two batteries should be as near as possible the same. Alright, bye for now.